I failed the bomb disposal mission, and my wife, also a bomb disposal expert, snatched the only blast shield from my hands and gave it to her first love. I grabbed my wife's hand and begged pitifully. She shook me off with a jerk. You're so selfish. You have a system that can revive you, what do you need the blast shield for? Jack's body is already weak and can't withstand any impact. 2 blast shields are the safest option. But she didn't know that the system had only given me 2 chances to revive. One chance I used up, unable to resist her pleas to save her first love. The other I used last year on a mission to save her when she was on the brink of death. Today, I was truly going to die. After the bomb exploded, the entire room became an inferno, with towering flames instantly engulfing my body. The last image before my eyes was of my wife, Rachel, using the blast shield that originally belonged to me to protect her first love, Jack. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a spirit form, following Rachel. At that moment, she was tenderly blowing on Jack's hand, which had been slightly singed by the flames, her face full of concern. Jack, your hand is all red. Let's go to the hospital quickly to get it bandaged. Hearing this, my heart felt as if it had been soaked in vinegar, unbearably sour. Anyone who saw this scene would comment on the deep affection between the two. But this woman was my wife of 3 years. She had never shown such a concerned expression for me. The redness on Jack's palm was barely visible unless you looked closely, yet Rachel was so worried. When I was engulfed in flames, she didn't even spare me a glance. Jack looked scared. Rachel, it's just a small injury, nothing serious. It's a good thing you were there, or I would have been seriously hurt for sure. Rachel still looked tense. Who says it's a small injury? What if there's some internal damage? I won't be at ease until a doctor checks it out. With that, she immediately took Jack's hand and walked towards the exit, her usually calm face full of anxiety. Before getting into the car, Emily, a colleague from the same team, stopped her with a frown. Luke is still at the scene and hasn't come out. The bomb just exploded, could something have happened to him? Hearing my name, Rachel's expression instantly turned to disgust, her face full of impatience. What could happen? That selfish bastard values his life too much, he's probably hiding somewhere. Get out of the way quickly, Jack needs to go to the hospital, we can't delay. From leaving the explosion site until now, Rachel hadn't mentioned me once, hadn't shown any concern for my safety. Even when someone else worried that something might have happened to me, she had to belittle me. I must be quite a failure as a husband in her heart. Rachel pushed Emily aside and got into the car with Jack, heading straight to the hospital, ignoring Emily's calls behind them. At the hospital, after the examination, Jack hadn't suffered any injuries, just a small red mark on his hand where the flame had singed it. Rachel, however, acted as if it was a major crisis, insisting that the doctor must bandage it well. Jack looked at her with emotion. Rachel, you're still so good to me. Then he hesitated before speaking again. Without a blast shield, will Luke be alright? After all, he came to save me. I'll feel guilty if something happens to him. Rachel waved her hand, her words showing no concern at all. Luke has a system, he won't die. Your body is already not good, you can't take any injury. He even tried to keep the blast shield earlier, saying he would die this time. He's so selfish. He clearly has a system that can save him, yet he tried to trick me. I think he just can't stand seeing me being good to you. When he comes back, I'm going to have a big fight with him for sure. By the end, Rachel was full of anger, as if I had committed some terrible crime. But I just wanted to live. I hadn't lied to her either. The system had only given me 2 chances to revive, and I had already used them up. I was a task executor who had crossed over to this world, and my mission was to make Rachel marry me. The year I met Rachel, she was, like me, a newly recruited bomb disposal officer in the police force. At that time, her first love Jack had broken up with her abruptly to go abroad, leaving Rachel in a daze every day. It was I who stayed by her side constantly, helping her out of the gloom. 3 years later, we naturally became husband and wife, and my mission was successfully completed. The system gave me a reward. I could stay in this world and had 2 chances to revive. At that time, I had also truly fallen in love with Rachel. I believed that the most important thing between husband and wife was honesty, so I told her about the system without reservation. I even jokingly said, no matter what, I won't die. I can stay with you until we're old. But I never thought that this sentence would become my death warrant. Shortly after we got married, Jack returned from abroad. Jack only shed a few tears in front of Rachel, explaining that going abroad was entirely his parents' wish, which he couldn't disobey. Rachel believed him without hesitation. She seemed to forget the pain Jack had caused her back then and started following him around, caring for his every need. She even begged me to use the system to save Jack when he was in a life-threatening car accident. When I saw Rachel crying her eyes out, I couldn't say I wasn't heartbroken. How could I not be sad and angry when my wife was shedding tears for another man? But I loved Rachel deeply, and I couldn't refuse her request. So, the first chance to revive was used up. Last year, after Rachel had finished defusing a bomb and was about to return to the team, she was shot by a criminal who had fought back, right in the heart. When Rachel was sent to the hospital, the doctor took one look and issued a death notice. I couldn't accept Rachel leaving me, so I resolutely gave her my last chance. Before reviving Rachel, the system had repeatedly asked me if I was sure, as this was the last chance. Wouldn't I regret it? I answered firmly, I won't regret it. The system agreed, and after that, it never appeared again. At that time, I thought Rachel's feelings for Jack were just an obsession, and that with time, she would naturally come to her senses and return to our family. And I firmly believed that I could grow old with Rachel. But now, the cruel reality had given me a harsh wake-up call. It turned out that Rachel had always only loved Jack. And I was just deluding myself. Jack looked at Rachel, seeming to want to say something but holding back. Rachel tapped his forehead, her tone intimate. Jack, what is it that you can't tell me? Jack clenched his fist, as if making up his mind to speak. Rachel, Luke has always been the ace bomb disposal expert in your team, and with you assisting this time, how could the bomb explode? Could it be that? Jack didn't continue, but left room for endless imagination. A raging fire of anger surged in my heart, my hands clenched into fists, wishing I could rush forward and give him a couple of punches. I was already dead, yet he still wouldn't let me go, trying to poison Rachel against me. As a police officer, I knew my responsibilities and never brought personal emotions into work. Although I already knew Rachel didn't love me, I thought that after working together for 6 years, she should understand my character. The next second, Rachel's words shattered my illusions. I was wondering why the bomb suddenly exploded when we were defusing it so well. It must be that lunatic Luke deliberately trying to harm you. I'm going to report him to the police force. He doesn't deserve to be a police officer. Rachel's face was red with anger. I had no doubt that if I appeared in front of her now, she would definitely slap me and then curse me viciously. At this moment, my heart was filled with bitterness. Had I overestimated my image in Rachel's heart, or was Jack so important to her that she would believe whatever he said? Probably both. 6 years of being together couldn't buy even a little trust from her. Now, I was probably just a despicable villain in her heart. But I still remembered what she had said at our wedding, "You're not just my husband, but also my comrade in arms whom I'll trust for a lifetime." Now, it only took a light remark from Jack for her to forget her past promises. I suddenly wanted to know, when she learns of my death, will she regret the words she said today? Rachel paced back and forth in the room, unable to vent her anger. She took out her phone and sent me messages. "Luke, how dare you tamper with the bomb, I'll make you pay for this. Don't think I don't know you can't die, reply to me right now." Rachel stared at her phone intently, but after 1 minute, 2 minutes passed, there was still no reply. In the past, I would always reply to her messages within 10 seconds. Rachel's chest heaved up and down with anger. "Fine, pretend to be dead then. Don't think I can't do anything about you." She called a colleague who had stayed at the scene, not even waiting for the other end to speak before she shouted angrily, "Tell Luke I know all about his dirty tricks, he better be prepared to face disciplinary action." An anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. "Luke hasn't come out yet, the fire hasn't been put out and we can't get in. He might really be in trouble." Rachel sneered, her tone icy cold. "He won't die. I think he's just hiding because he's afraid of being held accountable. You tell him this trick won't work. He almost killed Jack, I will definitely get to the bottom of this." With that, she angrily hung up the phone, still cursing under her breath. A flash of smugness passed through Jack's eyes, but he pretended to be magnanimous. "Rachel, it's normal for men to be jealous. Luke was probably just momentarily confused. Let it go." But Rachel glared at him with a stern face. "How can we let it go? Your body hasn't been good since the car accident, and this time if it weren't for the blast shield, your life could have been in danger. We can't let him off easily." Jack hugged Rachel emotionally, the two looking like a couple who had survived a disaster together.